Hello, in this example I'm going to explain whether this function fx equals 5x cubed minus x is an even function, an odd function, or neither of them. So the first thing we will do, like we did in the last example, we're going to replace all the x's in this equation by negative x. So I have replaced this x by negative x, this x by negative x, and this x by negative x. Then this side, the left side, is just gonna stay as f of negative x. So you can already write that. And then you will try to simplify the other side, this one. First, let's deal with negative x cubed, negative x brackets cubed. It actually means a negative x multiplied by negative x multiplied by negative x. Negative multiplied by negative is positive. Positive multiplied by negative is going to be negative. So it will end up being a negative value. And then x times x times x is x cubed. So negative x brackets cubed is going to end up being negative x cubed. Okay, over here, you can say negative multiplied by negative or minus multiplied by negative is going to give you plus. So that from here we have plus x. Now we multiply 5 by negative x cubed. 5 is obviously positive, this is negative. Positive multiplied by negative is going to give you a negative number. So we will end up getting negative 5x cubed and then carry plus x to the next step. Now you have to look at the original function. In the original function, we do not have a negative or minus with 5x cubed, but here we do have a negative with 5x cubed. If that is the case, we're going to factor this negative out of this one and out of this term as well. So I'm factoring negative 1 out of those two terms. I'm writing negative 1 inside brackets in the next step. Then I will start a set of brackets there. And we will see, we will write whatever is left over inside the brackets once negative 1 is factored out. How do you find it out? This is one way to do it. I want to factor out negative 1 out of negative 5x cubed. What I will do, I will divide negative 5x cubed by negative 1. Negative divided by negative is positive. 5x cubed divided by 1 is going to be just 5x cubed. So which means when I factor negative 1 out of this one, left over is 5x cubed. Here is a way to check did you do it right or not. Negative 1 multiply negative 1 by 5x cubed, just in your head. Negative 1 multiplied by 5x cubed, it gives us negative 5x cubed. So which means that from here we can go back to this step. If we can go back to that, it is right. Our calculations are right. Now we are trying to factor negative 1 out of plus x. What we will do, we will divide x by negative 1. Obviously x divided by negative 1 is negative x. So negative x will be left over there when negative 1 is factored out of x. Let's check it. Let's check our calculations are right or not. If we multiply negative 1 by minus x, it is going to give us plus x, which was this. So we can go back from here, we can go back to that. It means the calculations here are right too. Now, once negative 1 is factored out, now have a look here. We have 5x cubed minus x. 5x cubed minus x is actually fx. Actually, that is why we factored negative 1 out. So we have f of x left over there. Now we're going to replace this expression by f of x. Once we have done that, you pay attention to this. So what we have proved is that f of negative x equals negative 1 multiplied by fx. when we prove that, it means the given function is an odd function. Remember what it was for the even function. For the even function, we proved that f of negative x equals f of x. Then it is even. But when we prove that f of negative x equals -1 multiplied by f of x, then the given function is an odd function. Okay, so we are done with that part. Now the next part is to see how the graph of an odd function behaves. I have already graphed this function over here. It is actually symmetric about the origin. What does it mean to be symmetric about the origin? It means that the half of the graph is in quadrant 1 and the other half of the graph is in quadrant 3. There are other ways to define an odd function or give examples of odd functions, but this is one way to look at the graph of an odd function. It is the half of the graph is in quadrant 1, the other half is in quadrant 3. Actually, it works for quadrant 2 and 4 as well. If one half of the curve is in quadrant 2 and the other half is in quadrant 4, the graph is symmetric about the origin too. So what we have done here is we have proved that this function is an odd function. How did we prove it? Eventually we proved that f of negative x equals -1 multiplied by f of x. And we also saw that the graph of an odd function is always symmetric about the origin. And how does that work? It is one half is in quadrant 1 and 3, or it can be in quadrant 4, 2 and 4. That's all. Thank you.